More evidence the media, the Democrats and the broader left have learned nothing about how to beat Donald Trump. They've been in a frenzy in the US over the past 24 hours, trying to suggest that the former president has been threatening political violence if he loses.
Former President Trump's campaign now on the defensive after his fiery rhetoric at a rally in Dayton, Ohio on Saturday night. Trump warning while discussing the economy that there would be a, quote, bloodbath if he is not reelected in November. This after the former president kicked off the event by paying tribute to those who attacked the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. President Biden's campaign swiftly denouncing those comments as threats of political violence.
What I heard was a continuation of the same rhetoric, the same endorsement of political violence that we've seen from Donald Trump for years, as you pointed out. It goes even farther back, right?
Yeah, political violence, hey? That's something that all right-minded people oppose and oppose strongly. So there were plenty of headlines to match that sort of commentary and plenty of condemnation, plenty of hysterical coverage. But what was it that Trump actually said? Well, have a look at this. He was talking about manufacturing, about the economy, car manufacturing in particular, and Chinese moves to build factories in Mexico so they can send cheap cars into the US and get around tariff barriers.
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars if I get elected. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars.
There you go. That's the reality. Trump was talking about economic consequences for the car industry. But the leftist media went with their same fake news, their lies and their division, their divisive tactics. Trump plays them off a break, of course. And just in case you want to argue that using the term bloodbath is reckless in itself, well, here's a little reminder of how often the media uses it in political coverage.
But as Politico.com reports tonight on the, quote, bloodbath at the RNC.
Headlines calling it a, quote, bloodbath.
Be a bloodbath. Not only is it going to be a bloodbath, but after they leave New Hampshire, it's a bloodbath on her home turf. That's really tough.
Trump has left a lot of corpses in his wake. I mean, we can count the bodies as part of the, quote, MAGA drive to take over Maricopa County. And the headline refers to it as an impending bloodbath.
And on it goes, right? It's a common phrase. So the whole beat up against Trump was the same old misinformation. Instead of policies or promoting their own candidate, they just obsess about demonising Trump, dishonestly if they have to. And as for Joe Biden, well, he's been doing what he's always been doing.
Great to have you here, and it's very happy to see Northern Ireland's Executive Assembly reinstated last month. Now Northern Ireland is a fully functioning government again. And I didn't admit your colleague. Young people in Northern Ireland represent the great peace dividend of the Belfast Good Friday Agreement.
Who knows what he said? You can go to the White House website. No doubt they'll have his speech there. You can decipher it better there. Instead of just running these media concoctions against Trump, wouldn't the Democrats and the left be better off finding a better candidate for the Democrats?